this season. They're top 5 quarterbacks in this league, and I can't wait to see the offensive fireworks down there in Mexico City.
It should be a great block today. Michael Turillo, Wade Phillips have the call from Mexico. When we come back, it's the Legion, it's the Aztecs, it's an international clash that's coming up right here on Next Level Sports. We'll be back in a moment for kickoff.
Next Level Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
For the 8th time in their history and the first time since their dramatic playoff clash late last year, the Mexico City Aztecs and the Vancouver Legion are set to do battle south of the border. It's an international clash between two teams that statistically and traditionally perform very well here in the SFL. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Turillo. Andy Hamilton is on stats. Wade Phillips is alongside me. It's always a banger when the Legion and the Aztecs get together. Wade, today should be no different.
Absolutely right there. You are absolutely spot on, because these two teams, they've met in the playoffs a few times, and this season, Vancouver 6-1, Mexico City's 4-3, and I expect absolute fireworks in this ball game because these teams are going to come out swinging hard.
Both of these teams leading their respective conferences. Mexico City only 4-3, but do not let that record fool you. They are a dangerous team with a potent offense and are in the top 10 in the SFL power rankings this week. Vancouver coming in at number 2 on those same rankings.
Yes, Vancouver's coming in with on an absolute tear, and they're looking to extend their kind of well-played season so far, and they want to extend this against the Aztecs.
I mean, the whole season, the big overarching question that has plagued SFL fans and friends and foes alike has been, can anybody stop Baltimore? Mexico City has already tried, and they fell to the Vultures back in Week 5. Vancouver hasn't got a crack at them yet, but I think these two teams, if you look at the grand scheme of things, are two of the teams that have a better chance than most of knocking off the defending champions if given the opportunity. Vancouver will start with the football. Cole Varner kicks it away, and we are off and running from Mexico City. Aztecs in the red helmets, red jerseys, white pants. They're at home. White, and gold with blue trim for the visiting Vancouver Legion from the Great White North. Here is the Vancouver starting offense. Tom Pepper in his 10th season in the league is at quarterback. Robert Redford is at running back. Sawyer Stern is at fullback. And that is the backfield. We'll get to the rest of the starters after this play. Pepper gonna wind up and fire. First time of asking, and he hits down the field. He's got Brett Killian. Look out. There he goes. One play. Touchdown, Vancouver. How about that for a statement in enemy territory?
What a fantastic play. First play of the game for the offense of Vancouver. And look at that. A corner route that gets caught and taken to the house. What a fantastic play. Brett Killian caught that, went up, caught it, and then the defender made kind of a bad angle at it, and then he was off to the races and took it all the way home for a big old touchdown.
Well, we've got something to talk about right away. Brett Killian has just tied Ken Gossett for third all-time in receiving touchdowns with that play. One more, and he takes that spot outright. So chance to win is going to kick the extra point, and we didn't even get a chance to catch our breath, Wade, and Vancouver's already on the board, and that just shows you what kind of game we might be in store for here this afternoon.
Absolutely. We mentioned fireworks before the game, and now we are seeing him on the first play. How about that? Just takes off for that giant touchdown, and now it looks like Vancouver is off on the front foot right off the bat, and now Mexico City has to do something to respond and stay in this ballgame, because who knows, Vancouver could just put the foot on the gas and just get a big lead early.
Touchdown number 86 in the career of Brett Killian. Again, that ties him with Ken Gossett for third all time. And now Mexico City, led by their veteran quarterbacks, 13 seasons in the league. His name is Matt Wilson. They call him the Bronze Bomber. And he will step in at quarterback. Phoenix Jones, the running back. The former MVP Ray Bentley is at fullback. Jason Bartley, Nick Lockett, Jacob McCall, T.T. Crystal, and Orain Darby are the very talented group of wide receivers. Bill Henry and Mike Daggs are the tight ends. They're going to start with Phoenix Jones off the left-hand side. Excellent job that time by the Vancouver defense. That's Achilles Papatonis getting back there to make the stop. Here's the Legion defense. Outside of Papatonis, they've also got Caliban Womack, Gerald Giudice on the defensive line. At linebacker, Josh Farnsey, Earl Fields the fourth, Marquise Reed at linebacker. Major Key, Ashley Rose Finch, and Dean Maddox at corner. Michael Lister, Mark Lopez, and Drew Hamilton are the safeties. 5 wide on 2nd and 11 after the loss of 1 on the run. Wilson is going to throw incomplete over the middle. Another good defensive play. That time Major Key got in there and stopped that pass from being completed to Crystal.
It was a great play by the defense. And I want to talk about that first play where the offense was lined up in a power eye, and then the defense had just 4 down linemen and didn't look like many linebackers, but the defensive line got the stop in that first play, and that second play, great defensive coverage by the backfield.
5 wide again for Mexico City on 3rd and 11. Wilson going to go long, and it's going to be intercepted just barely under through the receiver. He was aiming for Jason Bartley, but that is all the room that Ashley Rose Finch needed to pick that off.
She read that perfectly and skied up there and caught it. And look, the corner route was targeted again. It looked like a very similar play to what Vancouver ran. And that time, Ashley Rose Finch just skied it, caught it, and now Vancouver gets the ball right back.
4th interception on the season for Finch. And that puts Vancouver in Mexico City territory. Plenty of time to work with for Killian. He's just going to dump it off to Robert Redford. Here's the rest of the Vancouver offense. I didn't get a chance to mention them because they scored so fast last time. Outside of the backfield trio of Pepper, Redford, and Stern. Their wide receivers are Brett Killian, who scored the touchdown, David Gears, Kendra Hall, and Chris Curtis. James Walters is at tight end, and they've got 2 offensive linemen of note, Mike Coverson and Michael Percoco. And a nice high point of the ball by Killian. It's BK all day in the first quarter here for Vancouver as it's 3rd down and 4.
That was just a fantastic catch. He looked like the defense might have got to it and knocked it down, but did a great job to keep his eyes on it, catch it, and keep the feet down to make it a 3rd and 4.
Seven in the box for the scarlet-clad Mexico City Aztecs. Offset eye behind Pepper, who's under center. Plenty of time in the pocket for Pepper, and he throws it incomplete, knocked away. That was good on the defensive side by Dexter Jackson. Here's the Mexico City Aztecs defense quickly before 4th down. Angela Meerkat, Skylar Kingsley, Dan Tritz, and Dan Tritz are on the defensive line. Dexter Jackson, Ronnie Watson, and Matt Anderson are the linebackers. Jared Brody, Jermaine Menafield are the corners. Derek Meerkat, Jeffrey Daggs, Ben Charbs, and Liam Ryan are the safeties. And Vancouver not quite in field goal range after the interception, so they will punt it away, but put Mexico City deep in their own territory. That ball, however, rumbles into the end zone from punter Byron Patrick.
So they'll take over on the 20. Unfortunately, they couldn't pin them deep, and now looks like the offense is going to take over. Good position to not have to worry about getting a safety, but they'll have a long drive, but we'll see if they're up to it.
Mexico City just looking for a little bit of rhythm. They've gotten punched in the mouth in the first 5 minutes here. And looking to maybe keep possession of the ball a little bit. Phoenix Jones is going nowhere. He's got Josh Farnsey right in his grill at a loss of 1. So Jones on 2 carries, he's got -2 yards.
And that was Farnsey right there, the one-time All-Star getting the tackle. And he's second in the league with 70 tackles up to this ball game. And he has just been a phenomenal stud today, this season.
And again, one-time running, and now Mexico City's abandoning the run game. This one's lofted up, and this time the receiver comes down with it. Jason Bartley was intercepted the last time he was thrown to. This time he high points the football and gets Mexico City a 1st down.
They targeted Ashley Rose Finch again, and that time were able to complete it. And so they need a lot of that today because this Vancouver defensive backfield have multiple playmakers back there. So to target them is going to be a very tough call.
Vancouver playing very deep defensively. This time some positive yardage for Phoenix Jones, who 5 seasons ago had the unenviable task of taking over for the former MVP Ray Bentley when he retired briefly. Bentley is back on the field now, but he is just a fullback. Well, I say just a fullback. He still rumbles the football whenever he gets a chance, but he's mostly a blocker at this point. Jones finds a crease, bounces a defender to the turf, and is eventually dragged down by Mark Lopez, and he was the last man back there. One more tackle broken, and that could have gone all the way.
That was set up by great blocking by the Aztec line and also receivers and tight ends to throw blocks at every level. And also Phoenix Jones rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, and knocking through a defender. And luckily, the safety of Vancouver got the tackle to stop him before he can make him pay big time.
Phoenix Jones is one of the best backs in the league, in my opinion, in running between the tackles. As Jones is going to get the ball again, just under a tackle. He'll get about 5, make it 6, as he is suplexed near the 40-yard line by Hamilton. But we have a lot of backs in this league that specialize in getting outside the tackle box and using their elusiveness and speed. You know, Boo Chisholm comes to mind, BDG Hollywood, that kind of player. Phoenix Jones isn't like that. He'll just run straight at you and straight over you.
Yeah, that time they tried it again. And like you said, carrying up the middle is his specialty. 6'2", 230, just a load to bring down. And that time was taken down. But anytime you give him a full head of steam, he can make you pay and just shoulder charge and knock you on your back.
Well, now it's probably going to be in the arm of Matt Wilson. 3rd down and 2, 4-down lineman for Vancouver. Backers playing well back. They only rush 4. Wilson hit as he throws, but he completes it like the veteran he is, down to the 29-yard line. And there is Mr. Throw It to the tight end himself, Mike Daggs.
Yes, indeed. The matchup nightmare. 6'7", 265, a tall glass of water right there from Mike Daggs, and he is prolific as one of the greatest tight ends to ever play this ball game, and right there made him pay.
A 6-time All-Star, has spent 8 of his 9 seasons in Mexico City. Started with Queen City. Spent 1 season with the Corsairs. That time, Phoenix Jones is met again by Farnsey, and that's going to be a key matchup to watch as this game goes on. Can the Aztecs establish the run game, or will Josh Farnsey, Ashley Rose, Finch, Mark Lopez, Drew Hamilton in the middle of that Vancouver defense be able to stifle the running game? Second down and 10, trying to stretch the field, and that's not going to work. Look out, down goes Phoenix Jones again.
That time they tried to stretch it outside a bit, but he didn't see anything he liked, so he tried to cut it back in. That time the defensive line shut it down, got the stop, and really, you mentioned it, Josh Farnsey is the one to watch because he is just one of the greatest linebackers to play this in this league, and they're going to have to isolate him.
That was Dougal McGuire on the last tackle. It's going to be on Wilson again. He throws short. It's caught, diving for the pylon. First down, Nick Lockett. How about that to pull out of your bag of tricks?
Yeah, spectacular play to fit that in a tight window and got it, caught it, and then made the first down, which is even more impactful. And that time I thought the defense was going to get it. They jumped the route, but unfortunately we're off target, and the pass was on target, though, and got the first down.
Something I've noticed, Vancouver, when they even rush 4, are getting to Wilson consistently. They haven't sacked him yet, but Wilson is having to rush and scramble a little bit in the pocket, maybe move those feet more than he would like to. The Bronze Bomber's going to let that left hand fly. Oh, no! It's bobbled and intercepted. It was off the hands of the receiver and into the hands of Mark Lopez. And Lopez is going to go all the way. How about this for a swing of momentum? Touchdown, Vancouver. Excuse me, it's Major Key dinging his way for a touchdown.
Wow, the 3-time All-Star got the tip drill. Wow, Mexico City just can't catch a break. The receiver bobbled the ball. Major Key took it off the bobble and then ran it all the way to the house for a touchdown. And look at the blocking. Look, he's running beside his blocker. That looks like it might be Farnsey, maybe. Yeah, no, that's Earl Fields. The fourth was running ahead of him, but great blocking by the defense to get the pick 6. So, wow, Vancouver up what looks to be 13, could be 14 here in a second, and Mexico City on their back heels digging a kind of a hole for themselves.
In the 7 previous meetings between these two teams, the away team has only won once. That was back in season 15 when Mexico City beat Vancouver in Vancouver 24-17. The overall matchup is 5-2 in favor of the Aztecs, but right now, it's all Vancouver on a road trip south of the border. I just think they're happy to be out of the snow at this point.
Absolutely. That snow is getting everybody right now, and yeah, they're in the nice warm air, looks like, in Mexico City, sometimes pretty chilly, but today, pretty good temperature, and now Vancouver's taking it and running with it.
Mexico City down 2 scores with 3:56 to go in the first. It's been nonstop action, but let's take a little bit of a step back. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. And another tip, and it's incomplete. This time, Drew Hamilton, you could see it as he was going down. He was trying to tip that ball to, I think, Mark Lopez, who is also back there.
Yeah, it looks like they practiced that just like a schoolyard game where they're just all tipping it to each other. And that time, he tried, almost got it, but that time he did his job, tipped it, and then knocked out the wide receiver, so he had no chance at it. And now Vancouver's defense came to play, and Mexico City has to come up with some kind of game plan to get at least a score on the board.
And the practical upshot of being up 2 scores this early on is you're going to make Mexico City one-dimensional. Yes, that dimension is very good, as Ray Bentley carries for the first time this game. He'll get 4. But you can, in essence, just kind of sit back and try and prey on Matt Wilson as you go forward into this game.
You're absolutely right. They can kind of sit back, like you said, and really force Mexico City into playing the game that they want them to play, which can take advantage and get some turnovers.
5 wide plus the tight end. Wilson going into one-on-one coverage, and it's knocked away again. And look who it is. It's Finch again, denying the aerial attack for the Aztecs. 4th down.
And they're quite the rangy defensive backs. None of them under 6 foot. And really, they play much larger than even their large frame indicate. But really, Vancouver's defense is playing lights out today and giving Mexico City no breathing room.
George Amy punts for the Aztecs for the first time today from just inside his 15-yard line. He gets that one away. And Chris Curtis is returning for the Legion. He gets it up to the 38, and a chance potentially to go up 3 scores in the first quarter.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of game plan Vancouver comes with in this drive. Really, Mexico City got us, were able to get off the field, their defense, but really, then the defense of Vancouver took it right over and got us 6 points for them.
To the ground, to the ever-dangerous Robert Redford. I can't believe we haven't mentioned his name yet, and they're already up 14-0. The former Las Vegas Fury runner, and now in his 4th season with Vancouver. Remember back when that transfer happened in the offseason, that shook up the league. It was one of the best rushers in the SFL, taking his talents elsewhere in a move that we rarely see. A lot of top players are often franchise guys, but Redford has really made the move pay off for him in Canada. As he carries the ball again there and gets it over midfield to the 49.
Yes, he has. Once he made that switch, like you said, it shook up the league because that was a marquee name, switching alliances, and it really, like you said, paid off. And really to take his talents north of the border and really showing off that he is an absolute dual threat, catching the ball and running the ball, and now we're just getting him rolling, and Vancouver can really lean on him, I would say, the rest of the game, being up 2 scores.
Pepper's going to lean on his own arm, and he's going to complete into double coverage. That was right in the face of Jeffrey Daggs, and it's complete to Kendra Hall.
Yeah, Kendra Hall got targeted on the post route. She caught it in traffic, brought it down, and that was exactly what they needed. She might have heard footsteps, but hey, it's not going to dissuade her from catching that ball. She caught it, and now they're sitting in great territory to be able to put even more points on the board.
Offset eye this time. Redford strong side carry to the right, and this time Angela Meerkat says no thank you. Gain of 0 on the play, 2nd down and 10.
The defensive line of Mexico City showing up big right there. Angela Meerkat getting a stop, and that time it was great penetration by the defensive line to stop that play in the backfield, and they need a lot of that today to right the ship and change their fortunes.
Up the middle, that is Sawyer Stern, the rookie fullback, 2nd-round selection out of Lexington.
I would definitely imagine Vancouver really, really wants to lean on their running game the rest of this ballgame because they don't have to throw it. They can just run the clock out, run, simple stuff. They don't want to get too simple where they get predictable, but hey, they can sit back and just try to burn off chunks of this clock.
Over the middle, that pass is complete. Chris Curtis falls forward to move the chains. And this is something that I've been thinking about for a long time. And Vancouver is probably the best team in modern SFL. And I say modern SFL meaning the player progression era. Probably the most consistent team to never win a title, as Pepper steps back, throws short to Redford. A lot of work to do, can only get back to the original line of scrimmage, second down and 10. They've got a very good chance to break that duck this year as far and away the second best team in the league. And we don't know if they are the best team in the league because they haven't played Baltimore yet. We'll have more discussion plus the second quarter when we come back. It's the Legion 14, the Aztecs nothing. Second quarter from Mexico City on tap next. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Vancouver try to go up 3 scores, threatening in the red zone on 2nd and 10. Redford takes the pitch out of the backfield, and he is wrapped up and dropped by Ronnie Watson. Now, Wade, before the break, we were talking about the Vancouver Legion and the larger sort of overarching narrative of the SFL season and who's going to top Baltimore. Vancouver's in that conversation. Jacksonville and Atlanta are both in that conversation. They play later today. Who do you think has the best chance of upsetting Baltimore?
I mean, in my mind, Vancouver has the best shot because they're the most
look
balanced.
Out.
Oh, there
There's
we go.
An interception on the field and a penalty. If it stands, it's Jeffrey Daggs taking it away. We will have to check the flag. It's going to be defensive pass interference, so that will wipe away what would have been an interception for Jeffrey Daggs. It would have been his 4th on the season. Would have been a team-leading 4th at Vance. But Vancouver's still in with a shot to take a 3-score lead here, and now they've got 1st and goal from the 4.
And back to your point, I think it's Vancouver best shot because they're the most balanced and just the best chance in my mind to get that win against Baltimore.
Redford nowhere to go that time, as in came Ben Charms from the safety spot to bring him down. 2nd down and goal from the 7 after the loss of 3. And really, it's been all Vancouver on the scoreboard, but their 2 plays were an 80-plus yard touchdown pass on the first play from scrimmage and a 90-yard interception return for a touchdown. When their offense has been on the field other than that, it's been slightly favoring Vancouver until now. That is a magnificent catch, stretching out full length for Brett Killian, and it's a 3-score lead for the Legion.
And Brett Killian is absolutely putting his mark on this game. That's his second touchdown. The first touchdown was 79 yards in 14 seconds. And that time, it was quite a long drive and paid it off with a short little touchdown pass at the end. But now Vancouver is absolutely running away with this ballgame. And Mexico City has to do something to right the ship because they are slowly running out of time to be able to put up a fight.
And the most success that Mexico City has had on offense is with Phoenix Jones, and the drive where they got all the way down inside the red zone and then had that pick six off the deflection. Jones had the majority of the yardage on that drive, so I think it's too early to completely abandon the run game if you're Mexico City, but you got to throw it in there a little bit more sparingly.
Absolutely. They've got, like you said, they've got to keep it in there because if you get completely one-dimensional, then you become completely predictable. But if they can sprinkle it in when it's opportune and keep Vancouver's defense off balance, Mexico City has as good of a shot to stay in this ballgame of anybody. And if they can just get some productive drives, get some points on the board, and then get some stops, they are definitely still in this ballgame.
Mexico City scores 29.4 points per game. That's good for 8th in the league. Floated out to the near side. There's Bartley one-on-one against Finch, and Bartley picks up the first down. Vancouver averages 33.1, good for 3rd in the SFL, and they have the most rushing touchdowns as a team with 14.
Yes, they've got two great linemen that play for them, as well as the big tight end that can chip in blocks. And they've got a really good run game and just really balanced, but they've just have to pull it all together.
There's Phoenix Jones running with a little bit of energy that time. Finch brings him down after a gain of 7. Have you checked out video content produced by our community? Catch the Sim Pod every week, SFL Crunch Time and Road to Glory every Wednesday night, SFL Nights with AJ Stryker on Thursday nights, Say It With Your Chest airs Fridays, and Netma can be seen all week long at 6 p.m. Eastern every week. The live show schedule can be accessed through our Discord server at the top of the channel listing. Just look at the events tab. And Phoenix Jones falls forward for a first down.
That time it looked like the linebackers in the backfield were giving them plenty of space in the run formation, and that time they made them pay. The linebackers got there in a hurry, but unfortunately for them, Phoenix has just tree trunks for legs and was able to push forward for a first down.
It's going to be Jones again. He's picking his way through the traffic. He breaks a tackle. He breaks another tackle, and Ashley Rose Finch makes a touchdown-saving tackle just outside the 30. We mentioned Phoenix Jones running inside the tackles is beautiful to watch, and that's a perfect demonstration.
Yeah, you said it, and that time used every pound on his body to get through that defense, and that time I'm going to say the defensive MVP of this first half, Ashley Rose Finch, got the tackle because she's done magnificent work back there in limiting Mexico City, but that time Phoenix Jones got through everybody and she brought him down.
Longest carry of the day there by Jones. That was 23 yards, and now Ray Bentley goes up the middle. It's a rushing assault by the Aztecs on this drive, thanks to Andy Hamilton, who's doing live stats for us today, as well as sweating every play as the Vancouver coach. Mexico City down inside the 30. Last time they were down at the sharp end of the field, a hit pass was taken all the way back for a pick six. The previous 3 Mexico City drives, 2 interceptions and a punt.
That time, Mexico City got great push up the middle and had 2 linemen, a lineman and a tight end up at the second level. Unfortunately, he got tackled, but their line is doing great on this drive.
It's going to be another run. Phoenix Jones barrels over a defender, but cannot get away from the outstretched arms of Major Key, who has a pick 6 today.
Right there, he got through the middle, shook off the first tackler, but the second tackle was right there to follow up and finish him off. That time, great job by Vancouver's defense to really follow through and bring down the ball carrier.
The interception return for a touchdown was only Major Key's second pick of the season and first for a score. Wilson going long inside the 5, and that is a vintage Bronze Bomber throw as he connects with Nick Lockett to set up first and goal.
You said it, that was a vintage display right there, threading the needle, fitting in a very tight window on the post route. Caught it, heard the footsteps from the defense. Mark Lopez was right there to try to combat it, but great job catching the ball, bringing it down, and setting him up on the Vancouver 2-yard line.
Matt Wilson already in the SFL Hall of Fame, was part of the inaugural class inducted. As Phoenix Jones goes up the middle, doesn't get much of anywhere. There's Ashley Rose Finch to make the tackle.
And there she is again, calling her name one more time. She got the tackle right there, and they needed that. Actually stopped behind the line, tackle for a loss for her, and she stopped her. She stopped them, and now it's Vancouver 3-yard line, second and goal.
Ray Bentley is also a Hall of Famer, and maybe Phoenix Jones is going to head there himself one day, but right now he's heading into the end zone for a touchdown, and the Aztecs are on the board, and they are not out of this yet.
Nope, not out of it, and now one score closer. That makes it a 2-score ball game after this point pending, but really great job by Mexico City's offense to really march down the field. Took a few minutes off, but hey, put up 6. Going to be 7, and now their defense has to come and get a stop on this next drive for Vancouver and try to get their offense right back on the field before the second half. We go to halftime.
Cole Varner, the SFL's all-time leader in field goals made, puts that one up and through, and the Aztecs score with 5 minutes left to go in the second half, and a good defensive stand by Mexico City, and there is a good chance that we could go into the half with a 1-score game if the home team can punch it in on their subsequent drive. So there is a way back for Mexico City, and they did it exactly how I thought they would do it, being one-dimensional. However, they were one-dimensional in the other way. They went mostly on the ground instead of through the air.
Yeah, it's funny how that works out. When you especially think they're going to be passing the whole time, but then they pretty much just go run the whole way, and then one big splash pass play that got them a big gain to the Vancouver 2-yard line.
And now, this is the longest that the Vancouver offense has been made to sit on the bench so far today. Let's see if they get a little bit of rest or a little bit of rust. We shall see. Tom Pepper setting up under center. The Legion going to try the run game with Redford. Spins back to the inside and gets tackled by Matt Anderson after a gain of 5.
If only he would have stuck to the outside. I think he's picking up multiple more yards on that play, but he bounced inside on the spin move. He got bunched into traffic and tackled, but hey, that was a big hole for him to run in. This offensive line is opening up some giant holes.
And while we're talking about career numbers and potentially future Hall of Famers, I want to mention Robert Redford, but this time Pepper's going to throw, completes to Chris Curtis, and Curtis slides down just short of the first down. It'll be third and less than 1. Redford, third all-time in total carries, second in total rushing yards, and second in rushing touchdowns.
That time they did just enough to get that. Oh, they're close, 3rd and inches, so we'll see if they can pay it off right here.
The only man in front of Redford is BDG Hollywood, and this time Roberts will push forward to the 40-yard line for a first down and move those chains.
No, Robert Redford hasn't gotten huge yards this game, but really they haven't really had to lean on him all that much since they've, been getting contributions from both sides of the ball, and really defense and offense getting scores.
Chest high snap for Pepper, goes to the one-on-one side, and it's intercepted. That was almost exactly the same play that Ashley Rose Finch picked off Matt Wilson in the opening of the game, and now Jared Brody returns to favor.
Wow, and that's exactly what Mexico City's needed right there, the cure to their woes. They needed a pick, they needed a takeaway, something. They got it, and now their offense takes right back over, and they have a chance to punch it right back in and put themselves in the conversation again.
Wilson, short over the middle. That's going to be close to a first down, just a half-yard short. And that's to Ray Bentley, the fullback, catching passes out of the backfield. And something I like to talk about is the shift in strategy over the course of seasons and, multiple seasons as the game continues to be figured out and counters to certain things be run. A lot of teams over the last 2 seasons or so have gone to fullbacks catching passes out of the backfield as Phoenix Jones barrels into Vancouver territory. I want to get your thoughts on this, Wade, especially off of play action. What is your take on fullbacks as receivers?
To me, if it fits, if they're just one of those inline the blocking specialists where they don't really have the best hands, it's not as effective. But, if you've got, an Eddie Gage, a Ray Bentley, something like that where you've got a threat at fullback, you can throw them out wide, on a route, they can catch it and then really do a lot of damage. And really, I love the dimension fullbacks bring because you can use them as a battering ram or, like you were saying, throw them out, catching passes, and then making people hurt on the defense.
Or you can use him like Mexico City does it, like with Ray Bentley. Yes, he can catch, but also remember he's a former MVP running back, so they give him a decent share of carries to give Phoenix Jones a break once in a while, and that's Phoenix Jones on the carry that time as Mexico City has completely changed around their fortunes here in the second quarter by using the run game as we head towards the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, you said it, and really, like you mentioned about Ray Bentley being the former great running back, and now he's a fullback. That adds a dimension where you can use your fullback to take the load off the running back and get some carries here.
2-minute warning on the board. We'll take a short break and be right back. Mexico City try to close the gap. When we come back, it's the Aztecs and the Legion on the SFL on Next Level Sports. Mexico City has used a touchdown and an interception to try and fight their way back into this game against the Vancouver Legion. Welcome back to the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. My name is Michael Torillo. Wade Phillips is alongside me in commentary. Andy Hamilton is on stats. Cameron Irvine is our producer and also host of the halftime show, which will be coming up shortly. Second down and 5. Here goes Phoenix Jones again. He loves running between the tackles, but that time it's a little bit too much for him as Achilles Papatonis brings him down. Excuse me, that was Ray Bentley on the carry, setting up a 3rd and 1.
And they used him again as the battering ram right there. They love running him up the middle, both these backs, and that time they used it and almost got the first down.
Handoff, middle, Phoenix Jones first down and almost goal. They're going to be at the 11-yard line.
Now they've also got to start watching this clock because it's approaching 50 seconds and they've still got 3 timeouts, but hey, they keep running the ball, so they've got to keep an eye on that clock.
Jones got caught up behind his own blocker and falls forward to the 3. Timeout, Mexico City.
And that time, was that Ray Bentley on that carry and really battering middle for 7 yards? Either way, whoever it was did a great job, got in there, picked up 7 yards, and now 4 yards to pay dirt.
I formation. Here comes Phoenix Jones, and the Phoenix has been grounded by a beautiful tackle right up the middle. Couldn't quite see which of the defensive linemen for Vancouver got there, either Papatonis, Womack, or Judas Sessi, but one of them brought him down. They're going to try it again. This time he's trying to try and worm his way off tackle up to the right, and he is going to get stopped a yard short. 4th and 2. What do you do here if you're Mexico City?
Ooh, right here, this is a tough call. I'm going to go for it because, I mean, I'm a gambler, and so I'm going to be betting on my team and try to punch it in. They're going to be safe, though, which, hey, I get it. But if they get this score, they're only down 11 points.
They're going to leave it at the very capable feet of Cole Varner, who hits a chip shot from 19 yards away. Vancouver still leads this one 21-10. It is technically a 2-score game, although you'd need a 2-point conversion to make it happen.
And the good thing about that drive by Mexico City, they ran it down to only 17 seconds left on the clock. So theoretically, Vancouver doesn't have much of a shot. But hey, anything can happen in this league.
Here comes Chris Curtis. He's got some dynamic speed, but he has been mostly bottled up in returns and as a receiver to this point in the game. Vancouver's got 12 seconds, and in my mind, they're just going to play it safe and head to the half up by 11 points.
Yeah, I'm kind of agree with you there. I see them trying to just run this clock out and then go into the halftime and try to set up a game-winning strategy.
And off up the middle, and Redford not going to go anywhere. And we will head to the halftime break. It's been an exciting first half from south of the border. The Mexico City Aztecs spotted the Legion 21 points, but the home team is on the march as they scored the last 10 to go down into the break by 11. The APM Music SFL halftime report is next with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green after this.
Welcome to the APA Music Halftime Report. Along with Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine. A strong start for the Vancouver Legion. They are trying to get their first win, Mike, in Mexico City ever. They're 0-4, and they're up 21-10 at the break. Your thoughts on the first half?
Well, yeah, Cam, as you mentioned, a great start by Vancouver. They couldn't have started better with first play of the game. Brett Killian, 80-yard touchdown catch. Came back the very first Mexico City possession. Ashley Rose Finch with a big interception. And Vancouver, they were off and rolling. But right now, Cam, it's going to be strange to say. I'm going to say advantage Mexico City. They've had a couple of long drives. One ended in a pick six that off of a tip pass that was unfortunate for Mexico City, but they were on a good drive then. Phoenix Jones has been great in the first half thus far, over 50 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown. These guys have managed to pull it back with an 11 after being down 21, and they get the ball to start the second half. So I think advantage Mexico City right now, especially if they can put points on the board with this first drive in the second half.
Talk to us about what's sizzling, and also we have our game balls, of course. But we at the top of the show, Josh Zirkle and Ethan Muslin break down all of the games and all of the action, and it's a great chance to check out what you may have missed throughout the SFL. Here's a sneak peek of what Crunch Time looks like every Wednesday on the SFL's YouTube channel.
Look at Brown! Bounces outside! He has the edge!
5-touchdown Lone Star Bo Martin Jr. with the pick six.
And welcome everybody to this week's edition of SFL Crunch Time. I'm Ethan Muslin. That guy over there, that's Josh Zirkle. Josh, we've got a great bunch of games to recap, especially those Sioux Falls Stars we talked about a couple weeks ago. They just ran roughshod on the Beltway this week.
Yeah, absolutely crazy developments. A lot of wild results. Queen City and Arizona had a slugfest of their own. Let's get into all what happened in the league, starting with around the league. And we begin our Cliff Notes, if you will, version of the highlights. In Arizona, Cliff Allen has his field goal blocked. Queen City has a chance to win the game with 1:41 remaining. They managed to drive down the field thanks to two Chris Comisac catches. What would be a game-winning drive, Judah Dorgan here boots it through as time is running off the clock. Queen City steals the game on the road, 33-31, your final. Out of the Copper State, Charleston heading to Tulsa now. Corey Jones only to be outdone by Corey Jones. He had 4 catches on the day. 2 of them went for touchdowns, and you just watched both of them at the same time. That gives Corey Jones 8 touchdowns on the season. That puts him in a tie for the league lead on the SFL leaderboard. Travis Arthur picks up the deflected ball here and is able to run it back. Tulsa knocking off Charleston 31-17. Denver going across the pond to face the Knights, and they needed to call this game Stephon because it had everything. A blocked punt, a blocked extra point, a one-handed interception. That's Isaiah King III bringing that one in. A two-handed interception. That's Anthony Wyo. He had 3 picks on the day, and a pick 6. This is Nick Kindler taking this one back to sender, but it was London that came out on top, 36-28. Knights hold serve at home. Mexico City going to Portland. Portland still looking for their first win. And here's a strong start with Ezekiel Love cashing in the red zone. The Fleet led the Aztecs 20-7 at the half, but Matt Wilson, the Hall of Famer, came back. Here's Mike Daggs with a secure ball rating of approximately 50 kajillion, holding that ball with both hands on his way to the end zone. Mexico City prevails in Oregon. Fort Worth taking on the Vancouver Legion. The Legion is hot as any other team in the SFL right now. Here's the Sundance Kid, Robert Redford, with a gentle spike. Fort Worth, though, trying to answer. Cade Stevens carries 2 Vancouver defenders into the end zone to make it a 1-score game. They needed the onside kick. The Toros would not get it. Vancouver survives 30-24. Lone Star facing Los Angeles. The Lycans saw 2 big plays from Lone Star. Bo Martin Jr. at the top of your screen with a pick 6, and Greg Soto with a 102-yard kick return touchdown. Big plays, the name of the game, not to mention special teams, but LA still had a chance to win on the last play of the game, but Bo Martin Jr. knocks it away. Lone Star comes out on top 27-23.
Sioux Falls and Louisiana also won their games, Mike, and I love what Josh does over there in crunch time. It really kind of gives you a chance, especially the TV audience who may see a couple of games a week. It just goes to show you how much action is going on every weekend in the SFL.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Cam. Josh does an excellent job over there with the Crunch Time show. And believe it or not, I don't get to see every minute of every game, as a lot of people think I do. And I have a way, that's a way for me to get caught up as well. So great job over there with Josh, Ethan, and everybody involved with Crunch Time. And whenever I'm able to contribute with that show, it's always a pleasure to be on with those guys.
You know who's not seeing a lot of action, Mike? The Charleston receivers today. Kentez Johnson does not have a completion, and that game is now in the second quarter. Louisiana knows who they are, Mike. It's 0-0 in the second. This team's won 4 in a row, and they just continue to play terrific defense, run the ball, grind you out, and get a win at the end. We'll see how they do here today against the Predators.
Yeah, great defensive team over there from Louisiana. They have driven the ball down a couple of times after a couple of turnovers. They had a big fumble recovery by Rolliman Hood there in the first quarter. Unfortunate they weren't able to cash that in. They threw an interception in the end zone there to stop that drive. They look like they're on another drive right now, but as you mentioned, they are doing a great job of shutting down the Charleston Predator offense.
21-10, Vancouver built a 21-0 lead. Mexico City trying to come back. They get the ball to start the second half. Michael and Wade continue your second half from Estadio Azteca along with Andy Hamilton on stats. For Mike, I'm Cam. This has been your SFL Halftime Report, and we'll see you back here for your post-game update.
Welcome back to Estadio Azteca here in Mexico City. The hometown Mexico City Aztecs trail the visiting Vancouver Legion 21-10, but Mexico City has scored the last 10 points of the first half and will get the ball to start the second half, and it's been all because of their outstanding run game, the duo of Phoenix Jones and Ray Bentley, but they will start at their own 22-yard line after the return by Jeffrey Daggs goes nowhere. I'm Michael Torello. Wade Phillips is alongside Amy Hamilton is doing stats. You just heard Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green in the studio. Wade, the momentum is firmly on the side of Mexico City. What do they need to do to keep it going here in the third quarter?
Definitely they need to come out just firing on all cylinders and get a score on this first drive, and their defense needs to make some plays and get some stops, maybe some takeaways, and really to stay in this ballgame, they need all of that working in concert.
If you missed the first half, Vancouver jumped out to a 21-0 lead by way of a 79-yard passing touchdown to Brett Killian on the first play from scrimmage. Then later a pick six as Mexico City was driving down inside the 10 by Major Key. And then a passing touchdown to Brett Killian early in the second. But Mexico City came back and pretty much dominated the second quarter after that behind that man, Phoenix Jones' power running game, as he had a touchdown and then a chip shot field goal by Cole Varner to end the first half. That was Achilles Papatonis making the tackle that time on Jones. Papatonis, one of the standout defenders for Vancouver. He's up to 4 tackles. Ashley Rose Finch, 6 tackles and an interception on the day for the Legion, as Jones gets skinny and fires forward to the 40-yard line. And I remember Cameron Irvine saying at halftime, 18 first-half carries for Phoenix Jones. He's now up over 20 carries in the ballgame.
Yeah, they have been running him ragged, and really, he's got, I think at this point, 100 yards to show for it, but really, they need to bring in Ray Bentley a lot more just to kind of take the load off him, because he is just going to be just gassed in this, second half if he continues with these carries.
And the all-time leader in passing yards and completions, Matt Wilson, who is back to throw right now, throws over the middle into the soft zone. That pass is complete for 8 yards. We need to see more of that in the second half as well. Only 10 of 15, with 2 interceptions, no touchdowns for the Bronze Bomber so far today.
And one thing we noticed is the time of possession discrepancy in these teams, although one reason is because Vancouver's had those quick drives.
Wilson pump fakes to get the defender looking and then finds a receiver over the top. It's Jacob McCall who makes a house call, and Mexico City is right back in this one. They are an extra point away from being down 4 or a 2-point conversion from being down 3.
That time, everybody bit, and that he got behind and just was 10 yards, it looked like 5 yards at the max, in front of the defender. He got behind him and then was off to the races, caught it, and really no one had a shot because he was just made him look silly right there, getting behind him, and then ended up pay dirt. And now Mexico City is going to look with this, after this point after, we'll look at a 4-point deficit, which is very doable, especially if they can get their defense to get some stops.
Now, if you go back and you watch that play, you will see a quarterbacking masterclass from the 13-season veteran Matt Wilson. The pump fake, the eye movement, getting the safeties and corners to do what he wants, and that left the receiver, Jacob McCall, with a 10-yard buffer, as you said, Wade, behind Mark Lopez. That was beautiful.
Yeah, you said masterclass. That is how you do a pump fake to draw everybody. Everybody bid on that. And then McCall got 10 yards behind Mark Lopez, and then he was off to the races. It was a fantastic play.
Well, after the passing touchdown of 14 yards from Tom Pepper to Brett Killian with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter, it has been all Aztecs since then. Vancouver has only had 2 drives, an interception, and then a 14-second drive to end the half. Pepper trying to get it all back, and he goes to his favorite target, Brett Killian, who gets up to around midfield.
Absolutely. Brett Killian has been just all over this game with an impact, including that first play of the game. And that time, the post route's caught, and he picks up quite a few yards right there, picks up the first down, and now Vancouver very much threatening on their own 42-yard line, but definitely have a shot to put some more points on the board.
It's going to be Redford, who will be stood up by Jeffrey Daggs after a spin move got him free. Daggs was assisted on that play by Ben Charbs, who's in his 3rd season, all with the Aztecs.
A good combo tackle right there, like you mentioned, and that they needed that because Redford was starting to pick up some steam on that play.
2nd down and 4. Here's the fullback. Sawyer Stern falls forward for a first down. And that time, Charbs got the tackle all by himself. Coming into the game, Ben Charbs, 196 tackles in his career, close to breaking that 200 mark.
And up to this point in the season, had 70 tackles, which is tied for 2nd in the league, so he adds to it today.
Redford, a spin move to get free. An almost broken tackle, just barely hanging on to the legs, was Dexter Jackson. And I think if he doesn't hang on, Redford might be making a house call.
Absolutely. That wrap-up tackle got Redford down, but really just great cyclone move just to put on the spin cycle and pick up the first down.
Soft pass over the middle. There's Killian. Just picks up 5 that time.
5 for 5. How about that? I mean, that's some trust in your receiver when every time you throw to it, they bring it down. I mean, that is something that screams of consistency.
Redford again, this time not going to go anywhere as he found the not so loving embrace of Matt Anderson, the rookie round 3 selection out of Memphis.
Yes, and that time Mexico City needed that stop. They got it, and now they need to come up big on this 3rd down to stop them from picking up 3 yards.
Vancouver looking to wrestle back a little bit of momentum from Mexico City, who scored 17 unanswered points, and Robert Redford is going the wrong way. Coming out of nowhere and blitzing him backwards was, I believe, Skylar Kingsley, who just used his entire 6'3", 294 frame to barrel into Redford and send him the wrong way, 4th down.
Just absolutely what they needed right there. And, they're going to go for it, so try to pick it up on the 4th.
It might just be trying to bait Mexico City to jump off sides. They've got 10 seconds to do it. And now the timeout comes, and they will kick a field goal, and I don't really agree with this. I think in the second half, in a game that has ended up being as close as it is, you're going to need those timeouts down the stretch.
Absolutely, 100% with you, because you burn that timeout in the 3rd quarter, and then you've got basically the rest of the game where you've got a scheme to where you've got to save all those timeouts, and then in that final 3 minutes or so, you're going to need all those timeouts, because I have a feeling this is going to be a very close game.
And this is not a gimme field goal for chance to win. It'll be about a 42-yarder. Tuin puts the right foot through it, and it's good from 42. He's only missed 1 in his career, now 13 of 14 on field goals over 2 seasons for Chance Tuin.
So it definitely brings this game another dimension. So now it's definitely a 1-point ball game one possession ball game, and one score gets them tied up. So really, if Mexico City's offense can put some points right here, definitely they want that touchdown to tie it up, because then it would be a brand new ball game.
If you know somebody that turned the game off after Vancouver went up 21-0 and thought this was going to be a blowout, well, tell them to turn it back on and get them back in here, because the Aztecs have never say die, and they're within 7 after at one point being down 21. And being down 21 and having 2 interceptions and a punt as their only thing to show for on offense, they were adrift and out to sea. They have swam their way back into this one. That time off the right side, Phoenix Jones, nothing to work with on the outside. Tackle by Papatonis.
You said it, partner. When they were down 20 points in the first half, it seemed like everyone wrote them off, but then they just keep chipping away, sticking with the run, and really getting themselves back within shouting distance.
Wilson, middle, into the zone, and finds an open receiver. That's Nick Lockett, who makes the catch, brings up a 3rd down and 2. And maybe because the dramatic shift to the run fooled us so much up here in the booth, maybe it fooled the Vancouver defense as well. They weren't really ready for it, and that's why Jones and Bentley were able to be so effective in that second quarter. This time it's Bentley. Or, excuse me, that is Jones. They did the little reverse and had Jones line up at the fullback spot and take the dive, and he does get the 1st down.
Keeping us on our toes, and really keeping everybody on their toes, because like you mentioned, really, I'm kind of with you. I think everyone expected them to start slinging the rock, but then they start running it, and it just caught everybody off guard.
This time the lefty gonna throw into traffic and dagger right down the middle. That's a 1st down inside Vancouver territory for Jason Bartley.
In that time, it was a great play call. Got that post move and caught it, 1st down, and now Mexico City is a completely different team than we saw early in the first half. I mean, this is 100% a different ball team than we saw, and they're sticking with the run, mixing in the pass like we thought they would mix in the run, and it's been very effective.
Wilson gonna go short. That's Bill Henry, the 2nd season tight end. First time we've seen him today. Let's head back quickly to SFL Studios. Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green have an update from Charleston for us. What do you got, Cam?
Thanks, Torillo. St. Green, we got all defense in South Carolina.
Yeah, as you see right here, Cam, Jack Hoffman off a tip pass. He picks the ball off here right before halftime, and it's 3-0 Louisiana early in the 3rd, but Otis Boudreaux hasn't let us down. He has 3 points.
Back to Torillo and Phillips, Mexico.
While we were in that game break, Nick Lockett picks up another 1st down for Mexico City. We got tip drills on the East Coast, tip drills on the West Coast. It's a tip drill SFL Saturday, wouldn't you say, Wade?
Yes, indeed. That's the theme of the day, is tip drill. And that's what the teams will be focusing on next week. And in this game, they just ran all slants and picked up a 1st down.
This time to the outside. And a 1st down. That's Mike Daggs. Only his 2nd catch of the ball game, but it moves the chains into the red zone.
And none bigger time than right there to pick up that 1st down. Mike Daggs getting involved in the game. And really, they needed that. They need all their players to combine to get this victory, because they're, down 7. They need every.
Wilson. Back door to the running back, Phoenix Jones, who slipped out of the backfield and picks up 7 yards. That's an interesting play design right there.
It was, and really kind of caught me off guard. They ran him out there on what looked like an out route, and then caught it, picked up 7, and really they've been very unpredictable on offense, which has culminated in 17 almost 17 unanswered points, and so it's really keeping everybody off balance.
Phoenix Jones nowhere to go. There was a wall of white and gold and blue right there to bring him down. The recipient of the tackle is Drew Hamilton, and it's 3rd and 3.
So if they get the 3, they'll need 3 more yards, and really, Mexico City has been, other than that tip drill pick and deep in the opponent territory early in the ballgame, they've been pretty effective down here in the red zone.
Up the middle, that's Phoenix Jones again, and he's a yard short, and now the decision is going to have to come from Ramos Lynn and the rest of the Mexico City coaching staff. 4th and 1 at the 4, and they send out Cole Varner.
To me, it's not a bad call because so far in this, second half and lately, their defense has been getting stops. So, if anything, they get the 3 points here, which they do, and then they're down 7. So really, they still have a chance to get a touchdown. So it's very decent play.
See, I don't like it because they're now down 4, and there is not a 4-point play in the rule book, at least as far as I know. So,
yeah, true. But I mean, they can still get the touchdown, pull ahead. But yeah, like you said, there's no 4-point play. So either way, if they get another field goal, they're going to be down 1. So yeah, I would have gone for, but I get them going for the field goal just to make it to where 1 touchdown puts them ahead.
And a quick shout out to Phoenix Jones, who on that last drive passed 5,000 career rushing yards.
All milestones, my friend.
And we got Brett Killian passing Ken Gossett for 3rd all-time in touchdowns. Phoenix Jones, 5,000 rushing yards. And right now at the end of the 3rd quarter, Robert Redford has a bunch of room to work with and a spin move to get past one defender out past the 30. Nice little 14-ish yard scamper there for Redford.
To me, that was just textbook Robert Redford. The Tom was surveying downfield, didn't see anybody, dumped it off to Robert Redford, and then he burst ahead for picking up, over 10 yards, and that is just, to me, textbook Robert Redford.
And we have reached the end of the 3rd quarter. Put your 4s up. We head to the 4th. After this, Vancouver trying to get their first ever win in Mexico City at Estadio Azteca. They got a 4-point lead and the ball. When we come back, this is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Fourth quarter on tap from Estadio Azteca. My name is Michael Trillo. Wade Phillips is alongside me in commentary. Andy Hamilton doing stats for us as Vancouver looks to get their first ever win on the road against Mexico City, and only their third win all time against the Aztecs. They have a 4-point lead on the ball, and Brett Killian just made another tackle. BK today is 6 of 7 for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he has had his handprint all over this game, especially starting with the first play of the day.
Pepper showing off the arm strength, but that one's going to be deflected away. Nice job by Jermaine Menefield. Haven't really mentioned his name much today, to come across and deny Killian a chance for another catch.
Yeah, no, my avatar played with Jermaine Menefield in the minor leagues, and so it's good to see him getting an impact on this ball game.
Three wide set, 2 in the backfield. Pepper in the gun. Against a 4-man rush. Pepper's got an open receiver out there, and it is complete to Chris Curtis. Up to the Vancouver 47, nearing midfield. I think the Legion, the most important thing for Vancouver right now is to remain calm, and Mexico City's going to challenge that catch was made inbounds.
Yeah, and we're going to get another look at this. I think it was pretty close, so we'll see if he was able to get a foot down and get an up-close and personal look.
Yeah, we'll take another look at this, but to add to my point, I've been, on sidelines, and I think he's in from that
same.
second look. We'll take another look at this, and the call stands. It'll be first down Vancouver. I have been on plenty of sidelines where we've had an early lead, and then it starts going south. The other team has the momentum. They're coming back at us, and 2 things can happen. One, you can get down about it, and the heads go down, the mood goes down, and you end up just losing because you can't pull up enough fight. Or the other team coming back galvanizes you to fight harder, and we still don't know what reaction Vancouver will have as of yet. Right now, it's kind of in between. They're doing just enough to stay ahead as Redford makes that catch for no gain.
You're absolutely right. And really, it'll be a battle of who wants it more. I mean, because it'll be, does Vancouver just roll over and let Mexico City keep up the steamroll, or does Vancouver step up and stop Mexico City from getting any more push?
Curtis. The pass didn't really do Chris Curtis any favors. He did a nice pretzel impression to make the grab, but couldn't get further than 5 yards down the field. Brings up third down.
And this play right here is going to be a very large indicator of how the rest of this ball game goes. Because I think if they can get the stop here, Mexico City has a very good shot of getting a lead in this ball game.
A lot riding on this third down and 5. It's going to be on the arm of Tom Pepper, and he's going to go over the middle, and it's going to be incomplete. It was broken up by Ben Charms. He was looking for Chris Curtis down the middle of the field, and now it's 4th down and 5.
And being that they're ahead, I wouldn't risk, being that they're in a place where some teams would go for it, but this is a smart move to punt it. Trust your defense, get the stop. But hey, at the same time, Mexico City, that's exactly what they needed. They needed the stop. Now they get a shot to maybe put 7 points on the board and take their first lead of the day.
I think if you're up by 3, maybe you go for it. But if you're up 4, the field goal doesn't hurt you as much because you still be in the lead. I think that's a smart play to punt it away. Cameron Irvine, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Torillo. Mike St. Green, Mike Ryan continues to make history.
Yeah, Mike Ryan with his 10th interception on the season, and in his 10th game in a row, the former #1 pick is paying off after coming over to Louisiana, and he afforded us a chance to see Otis Boudreaux get another field goal.
Yes, he did. Still 6-0 in the third. Incompletion there from Wilson. Back to Michael Torillo and Wade Phillips at Estadio Azteca.
Thank you, Cam. Man, that Louisiana defense is something else, I tell you. I mean, they have just staunched pretty much everybody, especially in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mike Wright continues to get interceptions. I mean, he's got a record for at least their franchise, but I mean, he is approaching SFL record books.
You know that old saying, defense wins championships, and come the next couple of months, we may be proven right. As Matt Wilson, man, for someone who is a 13-season veteran and is seen mostly as a game manager, he can sling the rock. That was a bullet.
That was an absolute dart right there. Put it on the money. And then McCall caught it, picked up a few extra yards, and then was brought down. But hey, he threaded the needle, and Matt Wilson has been on the money today. And really, they need all of that they can get to stay in this ballgame, and they've been able to.
230 yards, 18 for 24 from Wilson. Phoenix Jones has been the focal point of the offense for most of the day. That's Jones' 26th carry. He's got 103 yards and a touchdown, and also 19 yards through the game.
Yeah, I know. He has made his mark on this ballgame, and really, it's been a mix of both Ray Bentley and Phoenix Jones. Bentley coming in to spell Jones every now and again, and really, we heard about it in that first half where he had 18 carries, and it's kind of continued over into the second half.
Here is Bentley, almost showing off a little bit of that Bentley speed as he tried to get to the outside after there was nowhere to go in the middle. Nice job by Michael Lister to track him down.
Ray Bentley, the four-time All-Star, got it. Just shades of his former running back days right there, using the change of direction, almost picked up just enough for the first down, but couldn't quite get there.
Now 3rd down and 4, and this is just as big for Mexico City as the 3rd down play was for Vancouver on their last drive. And Wilson, it's barely a first down, and you may not be surprised if the measuring sticks come out here on that catch by McCall.
Without a doubt, you're right. And that time, he caught it and did just enough when he got tackled to maybe push that ball right over the line to get that first down, because it looked like he was right on that threshold.
Well, no challenge comes out from Andy Hamilton and company. First down, Mexico City. 7:35 to go in this very intriguing mid-season contest. Wilson going long in quadruple coverage, and the catch is made at the Vancouver 30 by Jacob McCall.
Gutsy throw, moxie all the way. Right there, Matt Wilson saw what he liked, looked it in, threw it, and that post route was good, caught, first down, and now they continue to drive, and Mexico City is very much threatening in Vancouver territory, knocking on the door, and they have a chance to put their first lead of the day on the board.
Jacob McCall, 5 of 5, 108 yards and a touchdown. He has been the go-to receiver today for Mexico City. That time just a flare out of the backfield for Phoenix Jones.
And this is quite the flip of the script. From the last time these two teams matched up, there were 7 or 8 interceptions in that ballgame. This time, only 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. It's been a much more balanced attack by both these teams. And this time, Mexico City continues to pound the rock.
2nd down and 6 as they continue to go up the middle. And that time, Vancouver had the answer. Josh Farnsey knocks down Jones. The SFL continues spotlighting games in their own time slot, Monday, March 14th, with St. Louis and Florida. This week's special feature, live mics all night from both teams' coaching staffs as they talk about the matchup and the game unfolding in front of them. Visit simulationfl.net for complete Monday night special schedule and details. Wilson almost intercepted, and somehow Wilson threads the needle and unlocks a first down to Nick Lockett.
Earl Fields, the fourth, just tried to jump right in front of that route. Unfortunately, it was maybe a step behind, and it got by him. But that time, great, almost interception. But, Matt Wilson thread the needle, and now they continue to keep knocking on this door.
Inside the red zone, Wilson going to go to the air again. This time, Phoenix Jones is going to be wrapped up after a gain of 6 down to the 12-yard line by Ashley Rose Finch.
And she got her, she's had over 7 tackles today. She's been all over this game. And really, Vancouver's defense has to buckle down and try to get this stop and not let Mexico City get a touchdown.
Wilson, time, goes to the end zone, and in the corner, it's Mike Daggs for the touchdown to the tight end.
And hashtag throw it to the tight end. Right there they did. The corner route was good. He got behind the defense, was just enough separation, and their touchdown. And now Mexico City takes the lead. First time in this game. Never a better time with 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. They take the lead, and now it's Vancouver's turn to face a little diversity and maybe put themselves back in front.
Touchdown number 63 in the career of Mike Daggs, tying him with Mike Osai for 14th all-time in receiving touchdowns, and he's a tight end. Think about that.
Woo. Yeah, that is legendary status right there.
Mexico City with a 3-point advantage. Now is going to be the real test of the Legion's mettle. On a patch of grass where they have never tasted victory. In fact, they have had two of the most crushing defeats in their franchise history. The Season 9 semifinals and the Season 17 quarterfinals. Can they respond? We will find out next. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Don't touch that remote. Five minutes to go for Vancouver to try and find an answer. They have led the entire way through, at one point leading 21-0, but they find themselves down for the first time. And how about that for a circus throw and catch from Tom Pepper to Kendra Hall. Sidearm throw, leaping grab.
Yeah, Kendra Hall took the post right there and picked up extra special yards right there. They need every yard they can get because, like you mentioned before, Vancouver is facing the first adversity of their ball game, and they need every yard, every point that they can get because they've got to get a victory. They've never won in this ballpark.
Vancouver's offense, when they've been on the field, they're averaging about 7 yards per play. A little stop and go there from Redford doesn't really get him anywhere. But they haven't been on the field that much. Mexico City has had 5 drives of 10-plus plays. 4 of those drives have gone for scores. The only one that didn't was the Vancouver pick 6 to put them up 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. It has been ball control central for the Aztecs on offense, and Robert Redford trying to worm his team's way back into this one. Hits up a 3rd and 4.
And they're staying balanced, which is really helping their offense and kind of hurting them as well, because it continues to run time off the clock, which can be a blessing and a curse, because you know, you leave your opponent with less time, but also you leave yourself with less time, and you start running out of time.
3rd down and 4. This one you feel has to go. Pepper in the flat. Curtis is a yard past the 1st down marker, right at the midfield stripe.
So 50 yards to pay dirt. Chris Curtis getting another catch and another 1st down. 5 targets, 4 receptions in this ball game up to this point, and now he gets another one, and now they're going to continue to try to get points on the board.
But only 22 yards for Curtis. Redford up the middle, room to run. Block is there. He spins out of a tackle, and he's just barely pulled down by Jeffrey Daggs right at the 1st down marker.
He was looking very dangerous on that run. Looked like he was going to be able to maybe make that last person miss. He's just weaving through traffic, spin move, gets out of 1, gets out of 2, but then the cleanup by the defensive back comes in, cleans it up, brings him down, and now they've got 38 yards to pay dirt, and Vancouver has to come up with something that gets him closer.
With that last tackle, Jeffrey Daggs has passed A.J. Barnes for 16th all-time in total tackles. Into the flat, Redford with a lot of work to do, can't do it. A nice combination of Matt Anderson and Jermaine Menafield brings him down, only a gain of 1.
As well as keeping him inbounds, so the clock continues to go, and next stop, 2-minute warning.
Trips to the left, single right. Redford the lone back. Pepper takes the under center snap, a 7-step drop. He's going to go deep to the goal line. Touchdown, Chris Curtis. Touchdown, Vancouver. Touchdown, Legion. And the boys from the Great White North have taken the lead back.
And all it took was a corner route by Chris Curtis. He gets that's a go route. Gets back there and gets behind the defense, gets quite a few steps on him, and he gets back there. Tom Pepper spots him, throws it over his shoulder. Chris Curtis catches it and then runs hard into the end zone. Touchdown, and now Vancouver puts themselves right back in the lead, and Mexico City has to come up with what looks to be, it could be a game-winning drive if they can. But Vancouver's defense, is going to come out firing and try to get the stop.
37 yards for Chris Curtis on that touchdown catch. And that Dover doubled his yards on the game. He only had 22 on 6 catches before that point. And we've mostly seen Chris Curtis returning kicks, but also on, corner routes and, just getting to the sticks, getting 5-6 yards, and then he gets free and makes the defense pay. Mexico City trying to respond for the final time. When we come back, this is the 2-minute warning. Vancouver trying to hang on for the win. This is the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Mexico City. They were once down 21. After that Vancouver score, they are now down just 4. A touchdown would win it for them, or at least give them the lead. 1:45 to go. 2 timeouts for each of these teams. Matt Wilson in up-tempo mode, but that pass falls incomplete as it hits the back of his intended receiver. For the final time, welcome back into Estadio Azteca. My name is Michael Turillo. Wade Phillips is alongside me. Andy Hamilton is on stats. Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green are in the studio. And I said it right at the top of the broadcast, Wade. Only bangers between Vancouver and Mexico City.
You did. You called it. And we expected some fireworks, and now we are absolutely seeing them, and this game has lived up to the billing.
On 2nd and 10, back to pass, going over the middle, and that pass is incomplete.
Wait, was that intercepted, partner? Yeah, no, Drew Hamilton got the interception right there.
Dude, it's intercepted, all right.
Yeah, so that, my goodness, partner, that looks like that could have just sealed Mexico City's fate right there. Drew Hamilton coming up with a just giant interception that may be the nail in the coffin, and now they've just got to run this ball game out.
A 3rd interception of the game for the Vancouver defense. And another first down, this time running the football, may have just sealed the first ever win for Vancouver inside Estadio Azteca.
Yeah, so history being made, and really, it was definitely a hard-fought battle. Hard-fought battle between both these teams, and in the end, it was a team victory for Vancouver to get this victory.
And that'll do it. We have victory formation, victory in Mexico City. V is for victory, and V is for Vancouver, as the Legion have finally broken the duck. It is only the 2nd time in this rivalry that the visiting team has won, and the 1st time that Vancouver has won on the road, and only the 3rd time in franchise history that they have beaten the Aztecs. Vancouver will move to 7-1 and remain just 1 game back of Baltimore for the top spot in the SFL. And they will also continue their stranglehold on the Pacific Division. They came into the game with a 2.5 game lead.
Well, Michael, I have to say, we talked earlier about if there is any team that has a shot to take down Baltimore, and I have to say it confirms my suspicion that Vancouver is the team, because, hey, they kept fighting. They never stopped fighting. They were down, then they went right back and got back in it. So I think showing the tough strength through adversity, the skill, and just all wrapped into a package with a nice little bow on it, I think they have the best shot to at least hold Baltimore to a respectable game.
And that drops Mexico City to 4-4. Now they're only a half game ahead of Lone Star for the lead in the South Division. And Lone Star plays Portland tomorrow night on the SFL's YouTube channel at 7:30. And if Lone Star wins, well, they could take over that division. Fair catch called for, so Mexico City's going to get 1 play with 6 seconds to go. And Mexico City is no stranger to miracles.
Just don't run prevent defense, because all that does is prevent a win. But hey, if you get it, looks like Mexico City has the Hail Mary shot, and that's it.
Down the field it goes. Caught by Bartley. Bartley off to the races. Inside the 30. Only one man to beat. Bartley tackled at the 1. Tackled at the 1. Tackled at the 1. Legion win. Legion win. The Vancouver Legion survived in the most dramatic of endings. 31-27. Mark Lopez with the game-saving tackle. Are you serious?
Wow, I cannot believe what I just saw. That to end that game, the banger of a ball game, we just end like that. It couldn't have ended any other way. To tease us, to tease Mexico City's fans with the victory, and then Mark Lopez to run behind him, take him down, and get this victory, snatch a victory out of the jaws of defeat. This is classic Vancouver. What a great victory.
What a ending! And this rivalry has another classic that we will talk about and for the rest of time.
I still can't believe what I just saw, partner. I mean, we counted them out, and then to get 1 yard away from snatching partner, that, what a game. What a game.
You could not ask for a more dramatic conclusion to a game than that, especially that one that had so many ups and downs. We thought this game was over in the first quarter when Vancouver was up 21-0. Then the Aztecs used the running game to come all the way back. They took the lead in the fourth, but right there, that was the game-winning score. Chris Curtis, a 37-yard catch, which was his biggest play of the game. And then, right at the end, you think that Jason Bartley's going to win it. That was the interception, rather, that set up the interception by Drew Hamilton. And then Redford and company couldn't get a first down to kill the clock. So Mexico City had one chance at it, and you might have thought that Jason Bartley would have been the hero, but 1 yard short as the tackle is made by Mark Lopez. Brett Killian picks up player of the game. Very well deserved.
Indeed. That it had to be Brett Killian. Those 2 touchdowns were the game winners.
Well, that was an impressive way for the Week 9 schedule of games to begin. For Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green in studio, Andy Hamilton on stats, Wade Phillips, my co-commentator, I have been Michael Turillo, signing off of Estadio Azteca. We now head to bonus coverage of Louisiana and Charleston with Tim Hackett and Nate Hall. Take it away, boys.
14 on the target from Kentez Johnson, and it'll be 3rd and 10 for the second straight set of downs.
Yeah, looking for a backup Raven Sabolka.
Welcome those of you joining us live on Next Level Sports. 15-0 Louisiana over Charleston on 5 made field goals from Otis Boudreau. Tim Hackett and Nate Hall here with you live from Fort Moultrie Memorial Stadium. The Preds down by 15 with the ball with 90 seconds left. Kentez Johnson throws, swatted away, incomplete. More great coverage in this secondary, Nate Hall, by Louisiana defense. That time Dante Grimm does get a hand on it.
Yeah, he does. He was close to that last attempt. He tried to knock that ball away when they got that long catch from Jay Taylor, but this time Grimm was in the right position to knock it away. Last chance for this Charleston offense to try to come away with a first down.
4th and ball game for the Preds, trailing by 15. Johnson has all day, throws into traffic, could have been picked, and that will do it. Right in and out of the hands of the veteran linebacker, Slyn Shady. He doesn't care. Louisiana will take over, up by 15.
Yeah, up by 15 now, and Charleston with only 1 timeout left. All Louisiana has to do now, as we take a look at that batted ball, that Slin Shady just made to seal this one. All Louisiana's offense has to do now is deal it about 3 times, and this one is over. What a great win, and what a game by this defense and by Otis Boudreau on special teams.
Shady just a tackle away unofficially from becoming the 9th player in league history to surpass 1,000 tackles. He had a big 4th quarter to help preserve this win, and now it's just Niels coming for Tommy Utah for the 2nd straight season, Nate. Tommy Utah is going to throw 0 touchdowns in a game against the Charleston Predators, but unlike last season where the Preds won at home, this time Louisiana is going to pick up a statement win on the road.
Statement win, even with 2 interceptions, no touchdowns through the air. No touchdowns at all to speak of. All the points coming from kicker Otis Boudreau, but finding a way to win still is this Revolution team, and they're playing tough right now, finding ways to win no matter if they have a poor game.
And no more Niels coming. That will do it for Tommy Utah, Gerald Smith, the Louisiana Revolution. For the last 5 game weeks, the SFL has been talking about a revolution. Louisiana has won 5 in a row, today powered by 5 field goals from Otis Boudreau, who has one for every finger for the 2nd straight week. He's now up to 29 made field goals within striking distance of the all-time SFL record for most field goals in a season. Incredible performance from Otis today. He's the entire offense, and Louisiana, it's a final. The Revs beat the Preds 15-0. They even up this all-time series at 2 games apiece. Louisiana has won 5 in a row. They're now 6-2. A shutout win for this standout defense.
And this Louisiana Revolution team, despite not scoring touchdowns on offense, still finding ways to win with their great kicker, Otis Boudreau. As you said, 5 for 5 today, now with 29 on the year, on pace to shatter that previous record set by Amanda Moyer on field goals made in a season. Just a great season he's having. But what does it say about this Louisiana team, though, if they're still winning games by scoring only field goals and still winning? I mean, 5 wins in a row by this squad after this win today. The way this offense works, even though they don't score touchdowns as much as some other winning teams do, this should scare any team and any opponent that should come their way in the future.
Only 13 touchdowns entering action today. That was 4th fewest in the league. Add a fat 0 to that after today. They did not reach the end zone once, so still 13 touchdowns now through 8 games. But it doesn't matter because, like you said, Nate, so well, they can do other things so well. This special teams unit is fantastic, as we proved time and time again in this game. This defense is top-notch. Again, they're one of just 2 teams that surrender an average of 20 points or fewer in the SFL, and today, 0 on the board from Charleston, even though this Revs offense has not kicked it into high gear with their 3 legitimate ball carriers out of the backfield. This is still a team to be feared.
Yes, a team to be feared, and just special teams play and their defense. Their defense is lethal. Mike Ryan, can't say enough about him as he comes away with his interception, his 10th game in a row with an interception, as we see Otis Boudreau, player of the game, well deserved.
Oh, question about it. 5 made field goals for the 2nd straight week. He's now got 29 made kicks this season, and I looked it up for you, Nate. The league telling us the record for most field goals in a season, 35. So Boudreau now 7 away from taking that himself. We'll send it to a break, and then after that, the post-game show with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green. For Dwayne Schindler, King Rashid, and my partner Nate Hall, I've been Tim Hackett. Thanks so much for joining us today. Once again, the final, Louisiana 15, Charleston no score. We'll see you next time. Until then, so long.
Welcome to Sim Football Post Game, along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine, and what an incredible finish! Your initial reaction, Mike, to the tackle made at the 1 yard line by Mark Lopez, the hero of the day for Vancouver.
For Vancouver, less than 2 minutes in, as we were kind of talking behind the scenes. Like,
That's right.
Man, it's a little time left for maybe Mexico City to pull off a miracle, and they almost did.
Crazy that the Vancouver Legion still remain just one game behind the Baltimore Vultures, who play next in bonus coverage over on the SFL Twitch channel. They conquer their demons today, Mike. 0-4 previously in Mexico City. They blew a 21-0 lead, which we thought it was going to be blowout city, but these two teams never do that to us. Still able to come from behind and get the win. Probably a truly special one for the Legion.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Cam. They really came out, as you mentioned, just on fire to start this game. A touchdown on the first play of the game. Got a turnover on Mexico City's first possession of the game, and they looked like they were just off and running. But as I mentioned at halftime, it just kind of seemed like somewhere in the middle of that second quarter, the momentum of the game changed a little bit, and I just had a feeling Mexico City were going to come back and make it a game, and they definitely did. They scored 27 of the next 30 points up until Vancouver's final score to make it 31-27. But yeah, it was a great game. It lived up to all expectations from what we had come to expect from these two teams.
And the South is very much alive, Mike. That nobody wants to take a hold of that Tex-Mex division, as they call it. Lone Star now has a half-game lead. They take on Portland tomorrow. Portland has been a scrappy team. They gave Mexico City all they could handle, lost by 11. They gave Vancouver all they could handle, lost by 8. So it's going to be interesting to see what Portland can do against Lone Star. But even Fort Worth and Houston, who have been down and sometimes feel like they've been out, very much alive, even for a division title.
Yeah, one thing I was thinking last week, Cameron, when we had 11 teams at 3-3, even with Portland being winless at the time, they were 0-6. I really had the feeling that no one was out of at least the playoff conversation. But now, as you mentioned, the South Division, the Tex-Mex, as we affectionately call it around here, it's still wide open for anybody. I mean, if anybody could go on a run here the next 5-6 weeks, they could clinch a playoff spot.
Everybody does it for Vancouver. Brett Killian owned Mexico City for much of the day. Then Kendra Hall came up with some clutch catches down the stretch. Chris Curtis scored the touchdown, got open at the top of the screen. It's pretty remarkable, this offense. If they were to take on Baltimore today, who you got, Mike? Because we won't see this matchup in the regular season. It could be a championship. It could be the championship matchup.
Yeah, the way it would stand right now, with the seeding and probably the way it would go, it would definitely have to go into the championship game to see that matchup. But what a great matchup it would be if that were, come to fruition. But, man, that's a tough call. Of course, Baltimore, who we have coming up next in the bonus coverage game, they're replacing a big hole at running back this week with Manny Harris being released, and they picked up Warren Murray, who's one of the top backs in the history of this league. He's been out half the season, so coming back, he should be in, maybe a little time to get acclimated to things in Baltimore. But we know Baltimore can beat you in many multiple facet of ways. But Vancouver, they've been stronger on defense this season as well. But
I can hear the internal struggle going.
Yeah. But right now, I would give the slight edge to the defending champs, Baltimore.
Good stuff. Well, in quite possibly the shortest game in SFL history, Louisiana takes down Charleston in a rare. I mean, you don't see shutouts in the SFL, and I can't remember the last time a team with a winning record got shut out. They do not have a winning record anymore. 15-0. Louisiana shuts out Charleston on 5 Otis Boudreau field goals. That's got to be some kind of scoregami. I'm trying to remember the last SFL game that didn't have any kind of touchdown of any kind. Louisiana held Charleston to under 200 yards of offense. Kentez looked somewhat lost out there trying to find open receivers against this tenacious Louisiana secondary, and the Revolution are 6-2, Mike. They have won 5 in a row.
Yeah, the Predators are definitely making an adjustment to Quintez coming in. This is his 3rd game back. They're 1-2 since Quintez has joined the team, but that's to take nothing away from the Louisiana Revolution and their defense and the way they've been playing this season. These guys have been, all over whomever they play. I mean, the defense has been great, and man, my nomination for MVP, and I'm going to be as big as campaign manager as Otis Boudreaux for MVP. 5 field goals this week, 5 field goals last week. He had a game where he had 7. And thing is, and I'm not really tongue in cheek with that, Cam, because the field goals that he's kicking and the way that offense is playing, he has basically been the offense for this team. He's been the difference as to why they're winning these games. They're doing enough. The defense is playing well enough to get them in position, and the offense is moving the ball enough to get them in position to kick those field goals. But without Otis Boudreaux, Louisiana would probably have a losing record right now.
Boudreaux, coming into the week, Mike, had more points than the entire Louisiana offense combined. Mm-hmm. And then he just got 15 more today. And Charleston is reeling a little bit. They've lost 2 in a row. They lost by 14 to Tulsa. Last week, they lost by 15 to Louisiana this week. And a 14-point loss in the SFL these days, Mike, is a pretty sound victory for your opponent with all these close ones, as Vancouver knocks off Mexico City 31-27 here on Next Level Sports. 1 yard away on an 82-yard reception for Jason Bartley. But Mark Lopez makes the tackle and sends Vancouver to 6-1. You mentioned, we mentioned Baltimore. We've mentioned Sioux Falls. They're coming up in bonus coverage. Jacksonville and Atlanta, a big one as Marcus Dunhill makes his triumphant return. And with Charleston falling off in the last couple of weeks, Mike, this could be Jacksonville's chance to take charge of the Atlantic.
Yeah, Jacksonville, they've been playing, been kind of up and down, Cam. They win one, lose one, win one, lose one. They've been kind of, I won't say struggling. It's hard to say that a 4-2 team is struggling, but they played some tough, tight games this season, and they happen to come out on top of on obviously a majority of those. And both of these offenses have kind of been struggling a little bit, Cam, as Atlanta has made a change on offense with the offensive coordinator this week to see if they can get some things jump-started over there in Atlanta. They've been struggling. I've really been surprised to see that coming from them, but we'll see what happens this week. Dynasty, he's struggled in his 4th season. We hadn't seen BBG Hollywood do a whole lot, so hopefully maybe that change will get something sparked over there for Atlanta. And in Jacksonville, they've been kind of struggling on offense with the turnover bug. Marcus Dunhill has 18 interceptions on the year. Maybe he can get it turned around against his old team where he was the former MVP.
Sioux Falls is a curious team. What do you put their odds at today in upsetting the Baltimore Vultures? They're much improved. They rely a lot on GP Wells. You kind of, I think to myself, Baltimore's kind of got a pretty good scouting report on Sioux Falls. They, you know what you're going to get with them. How do you see this playing out?
Well, I don't think it's going to be as simple as we know what we're going to get from Sioux Falls anymore. I think they've turned the corner from the team that they were a couple of seasons ago when we thought, we knew they were going to ground and pound you. They're going to throw a lot of GP Wells at you, but Kay Marion, she's averaging over 20 yards per reception also this season. Julian Tyree, he's up in the top 5, top 10 in yards for quarterback. So I don't know if we're just going to get the ground and pound Sioux Falls Sparrows. I think they're going to air it out a little bit. The defense is playing pretty good. I think they have a shot today against Baltimore.
Welcome back, Marcus Dunhill and the heir apparent Bryant Dynasty dueling here today, Jacksonville and Atlanta. It's going to be a blast, and it comes your way after this break. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Don't go anywhere.